Hello and welcome to the Monday edition of Talking Football, the show where we follow all the events of La Liga and the Premier League. And there is so much to talk about. With me here in the studio to do it is Uriel Dascal from Calcalist Daily and website. Hi, Uriel.
Hi.
Jose Mourinho and Arsene Wenger had a little cat fight, and there is a third contender for the title in Spain, and it's not Atletico Madrid. All that and more coming up. Let's get started. We begin with Real Madrid, who thrashed Athletic Bilbao at home 5-0, scoring 20 goals in the last 4 matches in La Liga. Uriel, it's simply working, all this combination. Benzema, Ronaldo, Bale, James, you name it, he scored.
Yeah, Real Madrid scored 20 goals, Cristiano Ronaldo scored 27 goals or something like that. It's just incredible. He's out of this world. He just turned himself into a proper striker, something that I've never seen before. Like a player completely changing the way he scores, the way he stands on the field, the way he moves. Incredible.
And maybe as opposed to what happened in the past, he does not force himself on the game. Somehow the ball gets to him and it's good and it's working.
It's about off the ball movement. He knows he's now a smarter player than he was. He relies less on his physicality. He knows exactly where to stand in order to get the goal. It's a change.
And Carlo Ancelotti, a very experienced manager, he seems to be handling this around. He has many big players and everyone is satisfied. We see Benzema scoring, Ronaldo scoring. Gareth Bale is happy to be the provider. It's working and it's not very easy. We've seen teams like this collapse.
Yeah, it's about flexibility. And, Ancelotti once said that he gave up on Roberto Baggio a few years ago when he was a younger coach. And then he realized, I gave up on one of the best players in the world. So he finds a way to fit his tactics to the players he has and not the other way around, which is very flexible, and we see it's working. But it's not as organic as, let's say, Barcelona, but it looks nice against Bilbao and other teams.
And now the big question, you've mentioned Barcelona. Let's turn our attention to them. Barcelona have not conceded any goals so far. We see them here winning 2-0 against Rayo Vallecano. They have not conceded, and in 3 weeks' time, they'll travel to the Bernabeu to face Real Madrid. The team that scored 25 goals so far this season against a team that didn't concede, which philosophy will win?
Well, we saw Barcelona versus PSG, who is a better team than Rayo Vallecano and Granada. And I think Barcelona will find it very hard.
They conceded 3 goals back then.
Exactly. They will find it very hard against very quality attacking players and harder against, real defenders.
And now we see Luis Enrique adopting the Ancelotti method from last season. 1 goalkeeper in the league, 1 goalkeeper in the Champions League. Claudio Bravo came in the summer as a substitute. He started in all 7 games in La Liga. It's working very good for him.
Yeah, well, it's working well, but I don't see, he wasn't challenged as much as Ter Stegen, in the Champions League.
None of the teams he met in Spain is Paris Saint-Germain, for example.
Exactly. So, the defensive work is something that is done well, in Barcelona, but I didn't see a Spanish team really going at it against Barcelona, unlike PSG, who did it and won.
And Neymar and Messi, we should mention, scored here, and Suarez will be back for that game at the Bernabeu. Surely one to watch. Last season, we asked again and again, when will Atletico Madrid stumble? It didn't happen. Can it be the same this time for Valencia? They're up there and they beat Atletico quite comfortably.
Yes, I think it's really the story about Atletico Madrid collapse. I've never seen them concede.
They collapsed this time instead of last season.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen them concede such goals. Some of them were really a joke.
The first one was especially...
Yeah, so it was very weird to see Atletico Madrid, which was always, relying on...
Defense, character, and Simeone style.
Exactly, very disciplined, very defensive, and now they're not there anymore. The Atletico that was there last year are not here today. I'm not sure about Valencia. They don't have the experience as Atletico Madrid had last season. So I think it's a two-horse race.
So basically what you're saying is Valencia, they're good. Not as good as the Valencia we've seen 10 years ago, 12 years ago, that won championships. Not that level.
Quality-wise, they don't have the same players as Valencia had 10 years ago. And maybe, arguably, they don't have the same quality players as Atletico Madrid had last season. So I can't see them really, challenging for the top spot anytime soon.
So that will be interesting to watch. In other results from the Spanish League, Eibar and Levante parted ways in a very entertaining 3-3 draw. Seville bounced back from their 4-0 defeat last week to Atletico Madrid by beating La Coruña 4-1 at home, and Villarreal still hopes to be a part of the top group as they beat Celta Vigo away 3-1. Barcelona are first with 6 wins, 1 draw and no goals conceded, which brings them to 19 points. Valencia is second with 17. Further down is Seville with 16, 1 more than Real Madrid, who is fourth, and champions Atletico are fifth with 14 points. Rumors of match fixing in Spain are a common thing, but now they are much more than just rumors. The captain of the champions, Atletico Madrid's Gabi, admitted he was part of a match-fixing scheme when he was still playing in Zaragoza in a match against Levante, which saved them from relegation, and practically everyone in Spain believes it's just a matter of time until more cases will be revealed. Lies Barenbaum and Michael Friedman with a story.
The case dates back to 2011. It was the last day of La Liga, and Zaragoza won 2-1 to ensure their place in the first division. A victory thanks to the 2 goals by Gabi Fernandez. Today, the Spanish justice suspects several players of taking 120,000 euros from Zaragoza to pay off players at Levante to ensure their team a win. There was also a questionable payment of 90,000 euros, which was near the date of the match. But Gabi Fernandez, who actually joined Atletico Madrid, said it was a bonus from Zaragoza. The player then repaid the amount in cash to his team, and the club went bankrupt in June 2011. The captain of Atletico heard from the anti-corruption prosecutor in Madrid this month and reported to have done what the club had asked. This gave a wave of panic in Spanish football. These revelations is another sign of the existence of a large-scale system of rigged matches in Spain. With a total of 33 people convening by the court, Gabi risks a very strong penalty. This case has pushed some others to tell the truth about corruption in football. The Spanish daily El País reported the former Malaga goalkeeper Willy Caballero saying that he had been the victim of an attempted bribery for the match between Elche and Malaga on May 3rd. Atletico Madrid has grown in popularity after resisting the financial giants such as Real Madrid and Barcelona, but their image just took a hit after these allegations. With the Spanish justice determined to clean up a system that has been eating away by corruption, there will be more inquiries into these scandals.
Uriel, as much as I love the Spanish league, I have to say this is a league with 2 superpowers who share almost everything. 1 or 2 teams may bother them every once in a while. What can the other teams do other than try and save themselves in more than one way?
I think match fixing, and experts would say it as well, it's a structural problem. Once you have a structure, economic or sporting structure, which makes a lot of games unimportant, then you will have match fixing. It's something that is evident in every structural, bad format in leagues. You have it. You have match fixing where the structure is not right, and you have it in Spain as well.
Yes, and very interesting to see. The other question is, what will Gabi do? I mean, this is a case dating back 3 years ago. He may not be the main responsible person. Is he going to pay the price?
I think he will need to open his mouth, as they say. He will need to give up what he has. I'm not sure he knows a lot. A lot of the players who are, asked to fix a match do not know who's behind it. But it's a start for an investigation. If he wants to save his career, he needs to, tell everything he knows.
It already began. It will be very interesting to watch. And now it's time for the Premier League. Chelsea are putting away every sort of opposition. This time it was Arsenal, a big team by every standard, but even they were no match for the Blues, 1-2-0. Uriel, can anyone catch them, Chelsea? It's quite hard to see. Arsenal was no rival. Manchester City was lucky to save a point against them. Can anyone stop them?
Well, not Arsenal, that's for sure. Arsenal,
not Southampton either.
Yeah, not Southampton. I think it's only the beginning of the season. We'll see many more ups and downs. It depends a lot on what's happening in the Champions League and what will happen in the FA Cup and League Cup and all that. Chelsea, as it seems now, are clear favorites for the title because they are the much better team than all the rest. They're more balanced, they have depth, they have everything you need for a championship.
And here is what the 2 managers had to say following the match.
It becomes heated because this is a big game, big clubs, big rivals, important match for both teams. So I think these conditions make a game of emotions.
It was about not making a mistake and not give the first goal away. And after that, I felt that we were 1-0 down. But we had good opportunities in the first half, and we couldn't transform our dangerous situations into and finish them. That's where we lacked something.
And as much as we love to talk about the game itself, the thing that most people spoke about was that catfight between Mourinho and Wenger. And we're joined now by Michael Friedman, I24 News reporter, for their reaction in the press. Michael, what is the press saying? I mean, pushing one another's tie. Are these kids we're talking about?
The press are loving it. I mean, this little feud
I
that
love
keeps
it too.
They're going back and forth with Mourinho and Wenger, and they just keep one after another. It's going back since 2004 when Mourinho started to be a manager, and last year they called the specialist in failure. So it's absolutely hysterical. The Independent even made a huge joke with the two guys looking like boxers, and they're going punch for punch. So it's really hysterical. The two nemesis, they just can't get away from each other.
And the images in British press are wild.
Unbelievable. The Guardian even said that Wenger has no regret. He doesn't feel like he did anything wrong. So the press is having a blast. They're having a field day. Continues to speak about the two.
And there was that image with the boxers.
Yeah, the boxers of the two from the Independent. They're punching each other, and they look hysterical. I mean, more pictures are continuing to go for the two.
You gotta love that, Uriel. I mean, the British tabloids, they just wait for opportunities like this.
Yeah, obviously, but I think it's really about Wenger's frustration. He just, the truth is, the sad truth for Arsenal fans is that Mourinho is a much better coach than him. I mean, you look at the record. He didn't win against Mourinho for more than 12 Premier League matches. He accumulated less points in 3 seasons against the top 4 than Mourinho did from last season. So we're looking at if it was a boxing match, it was a heavyweight versus a middleweight,
And their actions on the field were very interesting. So were their reactions after the game.
Forget that.
Sorry?
Nah, no problem. No problem. Football pitch is a football pitch. So no problem. No problem with that. To be fair, I do so many wrong things in football. Sometimes you lose emotion, and I did so many wrong things, but not this time, because this time I was just in my technical area, and was not my problem. But game over, story over.
I wanted to go from A to B, and somebody confronted me in between without any sign of welcome.
I was moving from point A to point B, and forget it. Their reactions after the game, they're just as, I don't want to say stupid, but stupid as they were on the pitch.
Yeah, well, I think, Mourinho poked an eye of Tito Vilanova a few years ago. So, that's not the most violent act he's been, involved in. I think, again, Wenger is just so frustrated with, his inability to beat Mourinho, and it's a mismatch really. So he pushed him around. He's pretty. He's taller. He's got longer arms. He said maybe.
But that's it.
Yeah, maybe I can get him in a physical battle. But
So this was obviously the biggest story of the weekend in England, but in other matches, Liverpool beat West Brom 2-1. Manchester City had a hard time finding the net, but 2 late goals gave them the victory in Villa Park. Manchester United can finally celebrate 2 successive victories. It wasn't easy, but they left Everton behind. And Southampton, who enjoyed a great run so far, was stopped this time by Tottenham in White Hart Lane. Chelsea are first with 19 points, 5 more than their closest rivals Manchester City. Southampton lost ground and they're down to 3rd. And believe it or not, Manchester United is already 4th with 11 points, same as Swansea and Tottenham. So, Riel Dascal, Michael Friedman, I want to thank you for being with us, and I hope we'll have many more chances to speak about coaches beating each other. It always makes it more fun. You gotta love it. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And don't forget to join us tomorrow for the Tuesday edition of Talking Football. This time, we'll follow all the events from France and Germany. And don't forget, you can watch this and every other show on our website at i24news.tv. We're also on Facebook and on Twitter. Thank you for watching and have a beautiful day.